So today, here's what's going on. We are diving into this skill, this ability, this capacity that we all have to unlock our natural youthfulness. And
Mm-hmm.
the way that you do that is by better understanding your body's
Right.
energy system.
Because the nature of energy is what we feel as youthful. So I just want to make sure we're not saying, yeah, you're 65 years old and you're going to act and feel like a toddler. Energy itself is
You might.
this ageless, amazing, vibrant, feel good on multiple level frequency. And what happens is it gets blocked, it gets stuck, and then you get used to this whole thing like, oh, I just feel old, and you start accepting that as the way
It's the
things
norm,
are.
right?
But what we're going to share with you is how to unlock the potential of your energy, to unlock what's already there, which is this youthful energy. And during today's episode,
There's a reveal.
we're going to invite you to a very special free training. So definitely stick around for that. And we have props.
Oh, yeah, we've got props for tonight.
We have props.
We've got props. So energy, energy, energy. We're talking about this internal energy matrix that runs through our body. So just the 411 for those of you who are new to energy work. And again, this is Tristan and Sabrina, also the Tris-Brina effect. We have been on a journey together. We met in our early 20s. We were in meditation school, if you will, together. And we just became, good buddies. All these years later, it's been, how long have I known you now? It's about
31 years?
no, way more.
No, way more.
22, 32 years. I've known Sabrina for 32 years. And on that journey, we've learned a lot about energy and energy work, not just from the perspective of meditation, but also from healing. Because I had a terrible back injury, and Sabrina was part of the whole healing journey. And it's what's led us to this show and the different things that we teach at Satori Method. So energy, when we're talking about this internal energy matrix, we're talking about the channels, the meridians that your life force flows through. We've been exposed to most of our studies through the art of Qigong. And we also love how you can learn to not only open the energy channels, but build the energy of the body, build it up, rejuvenate it. What we find is a lot of times, Sabrina mentioned this earlier, I'm not sure if you heard, energy can get blocked. It can get disrupted. It can become stagnant. And that causes a host of problems in the physical body, but not only the physical, also mentally, emotionally.
Right. I think one of the unique ways that we approach health and wellness and the potential that for your own health that's inside of you that we're tonight calling youthful energy is because we both have a very big background in the physical body. Dancing, moving, martial arts, fitness. We've been very well studied in the meat and the bones and the muscles.
Meat, the
And
bones,
then,
and the muscles.
and then, like Tristan said earlier, we met through more of a spiritual practice. And then together we have really enjoyed studying the brain. What makes the brain tick? What is neuroplasticity? What does it mean, conscious mind and subconscious mind? How are the body and mind connected? And that's really what we want to share with you is how when you isolate different pieces, you're going to get an isolated solution that doesn't really work. It's like you have to have the whole pie.
The whole
The
kit and
whole
caboodle.
pie.
Well, that's a great jumping off point then. So in your studies, I'm sure you have come across mind, body, and spirit. That's the grand trifecta, right? So we have these thoughts, we have these emotions. We're looking at this through the lens of the mind, right? And then obviously, you just said the meat and the bones, right? The tissues. We're looking through the lens of the physical form, right? The meat, the bones, the tissues, the muscles, the organ systems. But as you go a little bit deeper into that, like you mentioned, there's not just a mind, there's a subconscious and a conscious.
Yep.
And in the body, there's a physical and an energy body, which is we're going to dive a lot into the energy body. And then when it comes to spirit, I think a lot of people have a lot of different ways of looking at that and talking about that. But for us, just so you know, we're talking about love. We're talking about this connection to this love force, this God force, however you like to define that. And so for us, mind, body, and spirit is all one experience. And I think we've got props to help share about this today. So I would say it's mind, body, spirit, body, mind, spirit, spirit, body, mind. You can't separate it, but you have to sometimes to talk about it, right?
I agree.
You agree. Okay, so when it comes to energy work, what I've loved
I
is,
guess I was going to say an analogy. A snowman. A lot of times, if a child draws a snowman, they draw the three balls,
yep,
right? But if you just looked at the bottom ball of the snowman, it would just be a ball of snow. There's no man. The middle one might have a couple of buttons. The
and some
top
twigs
one,
that stick out for his
oh
arms,
yeah, yeah. The top one might have
and
a corn
a
cob
couple of
pipe and a
acorns.
button nose and two eyes made out of coal. But it wouldn't be a snowman,
Right.
and it wouldn't be the big picture of health and wellness.
So
and
we need all
that's what a
three.
lot of people do is they're like, oh, I have this problem. Let me just work on the snowman's head. I have this problem. Oh, let me just work on the body. But it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
That's why people make changes and improvement to whatever area they're focusing on, whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, psychological. And the tendency is it falls back into the pattern because you can't segment it like that.
And I love the conversation that's already flowing through the chat. Thank you, everybody, for joining and participating. And we're reading what you're sharing, and that actually helps us to navigate today's session. So I love the snowball analogy because it's also a great way to represent the three energy centers.
Snowman.
What did I say?
Snowball.
The snowball man. So in energy work and energy arts and arts like yoga, tai chi, qigong, reiki, things like that, you're going to see people drawing these internal energy pathways, almost like an irrigation system, right? So that energy is flowing through the like veins and arteries, like blood flowing, energy flowing through the torso, flowing into the brain, flowing through the legs.
Yep.
And what you'll also see, like in the yoga,
Circulatory system.
you'll see the circulation system. You'll also see in the yogic tradition, like those energy gates, right? Those 7 main gates. You see the chakras. And then when you start studying Qigong and Tai Chi, you see these 3 big snowball drawings inside the body. And so you see one up here, which is called the upper dantian, the wisdom center is what we call it. You see another one that's here in the middle, which is that big body of the snowman, right? That's your heart center. And then the lower body, which is the lower dantian or the power center. And so inside of us, we also have these energy centers that can become depleted or disrupted. They're designed to receive energy and to be balanced. And I'm not talking about the chakras right now. The chakras are like gates that spin like little wheels that give and receive information. But the centers inside, the energy centers, they're like brains. Think of them as like the 3 brains. The one in the lower is like the brain of your body. And the easiest way to understand this center is when people say, I should have trusted my gut. Like I said, a brain, right? Yeah. Something that has understanding, something that has cognition. I should listen to my gut instinct, right? That is a very powerful center. Now, a lot of times people will talk about the lower energy gates, the chakras, and the lower power center as a survival area. Granted, there are survival mechanisms within the body that maybe we look at survival mechanisms and we go, ooh, you're in survival instinct, right? Ooh, you're threatened. That's not a bad thing if you actually use it to protect yourself, use it to survive and thrive because you're staying alive. Hey, we've got a poem going here. So you don't want to judge your energy centers or your lower chakras. They're so low. Yeah. They're a beautiful part of the organism.
Yeah, don't be so judgmental.
Don't judgmental on your power center, man. You want to feel that power. So here's a way that I look at this lower energy center, right? The one that's around the belly. It is a relationship with yourself, right? This is right. You look at this brain of your body and go, oh, wow, I have a healthy relationship with this intelligence inside of me, this gut instinct, this information area that helps me to stay safe.
Yep, it's the foundation, because without a healthy relationship with yourself, how can you have a healthy relationship with anything or anyone?
Amen, sister.
Right? It is the solidity of all that you are. And again, thinking about the segmenting, I think so many people, and I included in my past, have run away from that relationship with self because it is the scariest. It's the most intimidating and oftentimes the one that we want to avoid. And instead, we seek the spiritual, we seek contribution, we seek enlightenment, we seek charity, running from connection with self, not coming from connection with self. Big difference. One is running away from something, and one is moving towards. And that the energy and the power and the frequency and the satisfaction you'll get from every single action is completely different. You thinking about cookies?
Yum, it's resonating with me. We're a little bit goofy and high right now. We've been brainstorming and heartstorming together about all that is good in life, and this power center, this energy, it's the power to create.
Yep.
Right? It's not just
for years I thought it was bad.
You did,
like, oh yeah, let me transcend the power center. Let me be so humble, not my will, but yours. Right. Whose? Like I am not connected. Yeah, if you're connected to your heart, then you have that connection to me of soul, and we'll get into that in a minute. But
can we stay on the center a little longer? I have more things.
Oh, more to say.
Sabrina gave a reveal not that long ago, and I was like, "Hey, don't tell people that."
What?
It was about one of my chakras.
Oh, you're gonna tell again? Oh, tell.
Well, because we're talking about the power center and these areas that people consider lower energies.
Before you continue, so a lot of us we have ways that we intuit our feelings. Some people get chill bumps. We actually have a friend that she muscle tests. She's a chiropractor, and she kind of burps a little. Yeah. And she says, I don't know why, but and some people are like, oh, when that, I feel this certain way, and that's how they start reading what they do is by this sense. Mine is in my stomach. I have these feelings that I feel, especially if it's a no. And then something else that I feel that's more like a shiver up my spine, and goose flesh if it's a yes. And some people use like a pendulum. Some people use something on the outside to help them tune in.
They use muscle testing,
like
you said.
He can continue with his story. I just needed to put a frame around it because...
Well, I'll frame it as well, but thank you. That is good. So we're talking about this ability to read into a moment and know whether or not something's right for you, or whether or not something lights you up, or if you want more or less of something, right? So we're talking about this power center right now. We're certainly going to talk about the other centers and how incredible they are when you've got all three of them firing together. But this lower energy center, we've been talking, if you're just dialing in right now, that it's not bad, it's not survival alone, it's procreation, it's excitement,
confidence,
drive, it's power, it's feeling grounded,
being the hero,
and
taking responsibility,
and there's this energy to, like, if you think about when you were younger, this area was more dominant because you were about creating, right? Maybe you still are. I hope that you still are, because you want to build on the energy of all of these centers. But you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to, go and study this thing. I'm going to get a degree in this thing. I'm going to build this company. I'm going to raise this family. I'm going to create, right? So this is the beauty of the power center. Well, where I was going with the ability to read into things is my chakras actually give me information. They give me, this one spins and swirls and tells me stuff. This, not just the whole center, but the gate here. I get a lot of information here, and I get information from the bottom. Yep, I get information from the bottom, from the perineum up, and I feel energy shooting up my spine. She talked about goose flesh. Maybe some of you do too, and you can certainly let us know in the chat. Do you get information from different areas in your body? Maybe you get the goosey flesh, right? That's a way of reading energy.
He'll go, my power center's tingling.
No, I say my root chakra is getting a yes. Now, I know that's freaking funny, and I hope that you're laughing, but I can't help it. If that thing lights up for me, that means that I'm really excited.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding. And I'm going to go further. You know what? This is going to be one of those shows that people are like, oh my God, did they really say that?
Are they publishing
when my Kundalini started to This is sounding hilarious, but it's so true. I have to talk about it. When my Kundalini, when the energy of the body, the life force started to unlock from down here, because it was so blocked from me being so suppressed and sexually judgmental stuff from people like, oh, don't look at this, don't talk about that. When I got over that stuff, and I started connecting to that life force, not only did I get information from the bottom, but I got other information that I could read energy. I was like, oh, the body's very excited. The body is feeling very lit up. I know, right? Now, that's as far as we'll go with that conversation. But some of you and people, students have told us that they have felt an internal orgasmic experience when their energy unlocks and starts to flow. So if your energy, and it's not our fault, it's your fault, and it's a good fault to have. If your energy unlocks from the root up, you're doing something right, and don't shut it back down. Allow it to blossom like a flower. Back to you, Sabrina.
Oh, no.
Bonnie Clack says, my heart swells. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah, totally.
I'm getting some absolutelys in here. I'm pretty sure you all are like, you're with me on this. Okay, I get information from different parts of my body, says Mary. Let's see, I got some laughs. But listen, there's nothing taboo. Energy is a beautiful thing, and your body is a beautiful temple. And it's good to allow yourself to feel all the things. And so the power center...
And what's funny is you didn't set out an intention to get information about that.
No.
A lot of times it's a business idea, or it's a when that happens, it's like powerful. We'll be talking about something we want to do or something we want to offer, and he'll go,
to create.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know why it is like that. It is, and I don't doubt it anymore. And that's the takeaway, is listen to your energy system and trust it. Okay, so we were talking about youthful energy. It's certainly very youthful when that energy starts to awaken at the root. Okay, so allow the energy to percolate and allow the energy to rise, because you do not want to stay just in the power center. So now think of the brain of your body. Now we'll move up to the brain of your being.
Okay, this is the power center.
Okay, so we have one center. So now we're moving up. This is the second part of the snowman. Okay, now we're going to talk about the heart center.
Aren't these pretty coasters, by the way?
These are like beautiful vortexes, and that's inside you. You have these kind of energy centers.
I'm going to put one so they can see it.
Yeah, it won't work. It's too focused on me. It's not going to happen.
Too focused on me.
Yeah, it tracks the face more than it tracks that.
I was hoping you'd go away.
Oh, you want me to go away and come back? Okay, so when... And this isn't just with age related, but it can be the journey, the evolution of energy.
We're talking about what now? Heart center?
We're going to get to heart center. We're talking about the evolution of energy. So when you're younger, but like I was saying, it's not always based on age. This... 1 second, please. I had a little helper making you go bye-bye. Okay. So evolution of energy, evolution of you. What was this relationship? Pop quiz. This was the relationship with what? Write it in the chat. This lower dantian, energy vortex, is a relationship with fill in the blank. Now, when that power is fully developing and you're not blocking it, it will rise. Your energy will evolve and it will come up to another relationship. Now, when we're younger, some of us had this activated already. I haven't told you what this relationship is yet, the way that we talk about it, but you probably already had it. But some of us didn't, because we were very focused on self-orientation. This is others orientation. This is a relationship with others. This is the heart hug. This is the service, the contribution. When the heart cracks open, you want to give, you want to contribute, you want to provide, you want to take care of. You want to be, probably you became a coach, a healer, a doctor, a parent. Like, oh, let me just love on my family. When this is really open. So this is another area, though, that you can also use to guide your life.
Yeah. And
So
you
we
do
have...
pause, though, right?
When?
Like when the root chakra is tingling and all that energy, you wait a minute before you have relations with others, right?
I'm not going there. I'm not going to do that. No. I listen I check in and I'm like, yes, that's a yeah. It's like muscle testing. It's just like, and some of you probably have it too, or you're going to start getting it. So when the energy comes up to the heart center, you want to allow that thing to open up. Now, what I know though is
it's our nature.
If you are in the survival instinct and your power center gets shut down and blocked and it's not blossoming and you're not getting the yes, that's because you are stuck in survival alert mode. And that needs to change because there's no way the heart's going to open up when you're in survival mode. The heart's like, I don't trust. It's too fragile for me.
I've been
can't
hurt
open
before.
up. Right? Not going to do it. So this will stay shut. And so now you'll have all this trapped energy down here. And it's like a river that's flowing and then a tree falls and it gets backed up on one side. It will start to stink.
The heart is the most open, I think, when we feel safe, when we feel invited to love, when we feel appreciated and trusted. And that appreciation is never coming from the outside, and that trust is never coming from the outside. It came from relationship with self. So when that power center, when that relationship with self is so healthy, it really lets the door of the heart center open because you have your cup runneth over. When the relationship with self is depleted, the cup isn't full. So how, if your heart is open, there isn't that much to give because there makes sense, right? Because what you're sharing is all the love that you have. And what is that love that you have? It was from the power center and being nurtured.
I'm glad you brought that up. It is a beautiful thing to feel power here, that the power is feeding into the heart. My karate teacher, and I shared this earlier in class today, used to love to tell us the strong power can afford to be gentle. And so when you bring that power and that confidence into the heart, it doesn't override the softness, the sensitivity, the kindness, the compassion. It supports it. It's a perfect yin and yang equation. And you see that in like, I think of the heart as like the hero and like a warrior of love. You are kind, but you are strong. You are powerful, but you are gentle. Service, the ability to serve others requires that you step up and you stand for what you love. Now, some people do over-focus in this area, and then the power center gets diminished or depleted. Now, what does that look like? I'm a giver. I'm a caretaker.
Helper.
I'm a helper.
I'm a helper because might be avoiding a little. This was me. I was always a helper in every personality test, which is fine, right? But then it's like, well, if I spend all my energy helping and fixing others, then there won't be enough time to reflect back on this because that was so much more difficult for me.
A lot of our students have shared with us that this is real for them. They feel depleted. They're starting to feel a little bit of resentment, but feeling bad and guilty for feeling that way because I'm soul. I want to care. I want to help. I want to serve.
And then you feel taken advantage of.
Oh, and then it backfires, right?
Taken for granted.
Yeah. It flips on you. But you know that you can feel your life force is draining because it's not being replenished. And yet your heart is in the right place. It just needs that power feeding it. And the body temple needs that life force to be cared for. So we've got the two energy centers now. We have the power and we have the heart. And of course, we want to talk about this one at the top, the wisdom center. Okay, the wisdom center. The wisdom center, a good way of thinking about it and looking at it is, so the lower is relationship with you.
That link in case anybody has to go.
Sure, just a sec. The relationship with self, the relationship with others, right? Service. Now this is your relationship with your higher self. Some might say relationship with source, divine, God.
Intuition.
Yeah. This area.
Wisdom.
This area here, so you got your gut instinct. This is your knowing. This is soul's knowing. It's beyond the mind and it's beyond the body. It's just this deep intelligence of your being. So we call this the brain of the being. This is the brain of the body. It's the brain of the brain. Now, when you open this thing up, you can receive a lot of guidance, a lot of heaven insight.
And when the wisdom center isn't functioning to capacity, You'll maybe have trouble sleeping. You might feel restless because of looping, worrying, trying to figure things out.
We've lost our trust. Yeah, when we're not trusting the divine and we're trying to do it all,
Anxiety.
It'll create a lot of anxiety, a lot of concern, a lot of worry, and sleepless nights.
Could be addiction.
That's just a perfect example of being out of alignment with your higher self.
Yeah.
So you want to work on all three of these energy centers and open them up, replenish them, get them balanced again so that they are in good conversation with each other. So the energy in the body goes up. It moves up through the central line, the Chungmei. The heart is filled.
Making sense?
The heart is also speaking with the heaven. So if you can see like heaven here and heart here, and heaven and heart marry in the head. So you get this connection between your soul and this feeling of purpose, this feeling of internal drive from love. And it's marrying itself with that which fed it to you. If you really start studying this stuff, you know that the soul enters in through here and exits through here, and you got all this incredible energy inside your being. So now when the mind is lit and you are having this beautiful relationship with Source, this conversation, you have three energy centers all hooked back up. That's the perfect trifecta right there, because you're firing on all three cylinders. Now, we've talked about these, like we said in the beginning, as separate things.
Right.
But they're all connected, and it looks more like this.
Well, here's the thing is, you can stack them like the snowman to talk about them. And then I think the mistake that, we do a lot of times, people will say, oh, let's just focus on this.
Let's just do psychology.
Right. Oh, let's just focus on that.
Let's just work out the body.
But the way, and then we think in linear time, or we pull things apart to think about it. But the snowman really isn't like that. The energy snowman is like this.
Yep.
It's
stacked.
all integrated and stacked, and the moment is right through the middle. It is all happening simultaneously to unlock the youthful energy that we're talking about. And it isn't 1, 2, 3. It's 1.
If you've studied our work or you've studied Tai Chi, Qigong, you know that there's a single circle called the Wuji, the point of oneness, that which existed before duality, that which existed before contrast. And then the beautiful opportunity to be here on this planet is that we can create through manifestation this seeming division. We create, we open up, we expand. That's what this yin and yang is. It's one circle becomes the balance of the two. And so now through male and female and yin and yang and the seeming contrast of things, we're finding this flow line, this balance. And so you have this incredible thing happening from the very center, from your soul center, where you have a mind and you have a body. And when you get the energy dialed in, what it feels like is you have body, mind aligned. Everything comes back home, back to the soul center, to the heart center.
It's an energy hamburger, isn't it?
It's an energy hamburger, exactly. So what you start to feel is a sense of oneness, a sense of home base, a feeling of this is where I create from, this is where I love from, this is where I return to, I come back to, the three become one. And that's a beautiful way to look at your practice. So when you're working with your energy, what you want to start doing is looking for, where do I feel disrupted? What kind of emotion or physical thing is showing up for me as my teacher? Do I feel low energy? Let me work on my power center. I have a lot of pain in my body that I can't seem to get rid of. Look to the lower dantian, the power center. Am I feeling more concern, more worry, more anxiousness? I'm not sleeping as well. See what's going on in the upper dantian, in the power, in the wisdom center. Feeling lost, disconnected, sad, kind of alone, missing that drive, that purpose. Look to the heart center. But all three of these, when they're unified and working together, give you this youthful energy. Why youthful? because youthfulness is consciousness. When you're connected to consciousness, you feel frisky. You feel lit up. You feel alive. You feel young. You feel childlike. Your body naturally heals. You return your system to a state of homeostasis. Your nervous system recalibrates back to normal, and you just feel really young and lit. So we're doing a workshop where we're going to dive into these energy centers a whole lot more. And this is the link so that you have it. And we're going to be teaching.
SatoriMethod.com/workshop.
We're going to be teaching some techniques as well to go with this workshop. So if you've enjoyed this conversation and it makes sense,
we're really going to be talking about having more energy, and we're saying age-defying health, not being limited by what other people say you feel like at 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 when they're only focused on one thing. But what happens when you circulate and integrate and
activate
all that energy together? Can we really banish fatigue? Can we get pain-free mobility and more flexibility? And especially right now, skyrocket our immunity. And how do we do that without it taking tons of time? And then you'll see it, we say, no pills, no potion, or awkward postures.
That's right. It'll be a beautiful time together. It's like Sabrina said, it's completely free. And our workshops they're the real thing. I mean, we actually get down and get into it. We do exercises. We help you feel the energy.
Yep.
It's real training. Cool. So there's the link. Jot that down. If you're on our email list already, of course, we'll notify you so that you don't miss it.
It's time sensitive. It's going to be a live workshop.
It's coming up soon, right? Next week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there you go. Hey, I love what Mary said here. I'm going to pop this into the chat. Mary, this is great. She says some of the old systems did not take into account the importance of emotions and misplaced. Oops, it went away too quick. Let's put it back. And it misplaced the emphasis. It placed too much emphasis on the intellect. Yeah. But intellect without heart is cold and dead.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. You nailed it.
Yeah.
It takes you to a February date for the workshop. We'll update that, Madeline. We put the cart before the horse a little bit here today. Somebody.
There's the physical heart, right? The organ that you can transplant, the boom, boom, boom. I'm talking to Mary. And then, then there's that energy heart, and there's the heart that feels and the heart that emanates energy. And people, maybe we're all just learning that there's the conscious mind, the mind we're aware of, and then the subconscious mind. And there's the physical body, the meat and the bones and the organs. And then there's this whole energy body. And that's all working with your spirit. And then what we're going to be focusing on are these 3 energy centers, the energy hamburger.
Yep, the energy hamburger. So love it. Love all the great comments today. Madeline shared, yes, it's so much easier on you physically, emotionally, and spiritually when you allow yourself to trust spirit. And the help shows up through that, right? I felt so relieved when I found out that the power center is not bad, that I don't need to suppress and try to transcend my body, that the body is beautiful, that spirit is everything. Everything is birthed from love. To understand that the survival mechanisms are love. They're there to help you stay alive so that you can continue living and playing in soul school, right? That these lower centers are teachers. Everything is a gate of opportunity, because it's if you learn to listen, if you really get receptive, quiet the mind, do the qigong, do your meditations, and just start to listen, your energy body will tell you so much. It will guide you in so many ways. Of course, we love coming to this heart center and really going inside and listening, because there's a guidance in here that's just never, ever sent us awry.
And so with what's going on today in the world, the reason that's so important, well, first of all, the energy arts and having your energy balanced is going to be the number one way that we keep our immune system so strong, but also knowing what to do and when to do it.
Yeah. Isn't she great? We have so much fun together. And we drive each other crazy. Because we're two alphas. Are you alpha?
No.
Oh, you liar. You're as alpha as they come. No, it's been the best thing ever. Seriously, like learning from each other on this journey of discovering energy. I've learned so much.
Well, I just never know if you're moving your leg for comfort or kicking me. Can you
nudged me, so I nudged you back. It was my way of saying I love you too. Sabrina, when I was younger and I first met Sabrina, we were part of these different meditations, and so sometimes people would share their experience of meditation or what they were working through. And any time that Sabrina would open her mouth and talk about her experience of energy, her experience of love, connection to God, or how she was seeing something, I was just fascinated. Her perspective on life was so different. And I feel so blessed to be around someone and friends like you that have this type of perspective where we're looking through the lens of love. That's all you've ever done. You've always, always chosen to see things through the eyes of love, even when it's hard, or even when you might be frustrated, or even when you don't know what to do. And I think that's because your energy centers are just so open and balanced. This one in particular is massive. She is just a pure love. And that's what we have to look forward to when we do this work.
That's right. But I learned that nothing is going to be satisfying or fulfilling, that I was seeking accomplishments. I was seeking excellence in all these different things and goals as a young lady, and achieving them. Why wasn't I experiencing satisfaction? It's because, as we all know, happiness is not on the outside. And when the energy isn't aligned, you're never going to be able to feel the joy, and you're never going to be able to feel good or to achieve all those things without stress.
Mm-hmm. We're here to play, Madeline. Yeah. Madeline's student, one of our certified Qigong instructors. Actually, there's many. Bonnie Clack is here. She's a certified instructor, and others here.
Well, next week, the Trisbrina show is going to be a showcase of some of our certified instructors. Yeah. And Bonnie's going to be one of the ones.
That's right.
Sharing.
Yeah, you guys get to see some of our teachers do their thing. We have in the near future, just so you know, just write it down. If you are interested in learning how to teach the energy arts, or if you're already teaching and you want to add the way that we teach Qigong to your toolbox, we're going to have a Qigong certification.
If you're interested, there's very limited spots. You should probably just email us right now. Satori@satorimethod.com, and I will put you on the wait list.
Folks had been asking about it during our 5-day energy challenge. You guys teach people how to teach, and so we're just sort of letting you know, hey, heads up, it's coming. All right, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody. And you're gonna sing our Trisbrina song for us?
Okay, you play the music like karaoke.
We're working on a new jingle.
Louder. Trisbrina on the show.
Keep going.
Is that the right song?
Yeah. We are live Thursday. We are live
Trisbrina Wellness Show.
That's it. That's all she wrote. Much love, everybody. Thanks for putting up with us. Bye now.